Hi guys, Mrs. Roberts again. In this video, I'm going to focus on this item ID right here, 3288. And this question is going to fall under the claim concepts and procedures. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. And my strategy here is to read the question, figure out what the question is asking, and reread the question. So consider this triangle. Determine whether each expression can be used to find the length of side RS. Select yes or no for each expression. And I'm going to look through my answer choices. And I see that I'm working with sines, tangents, and cosines. So determine whether each expression can be used to find the length of side RS. Select yes or no for each expression. So I'm looking for the length of side RS, and I'm going to select possibly more than one answer. Now, sine, tangent, cosine, tangent. To remember, what is sine, cosine, and tangent? Well, I remember something like this. So, SOHCAHTOA. I remember my teacher telling me that, but what is SOHCAHTOA? Well, there's sine, tangent, and cosine, so maybe this is sine, and this is cosine, and this is tangent. But what are the other things? Oh yeah! Opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent, hypotenuse, opposite, adjacent. I think this is how I find sine, cosine, and tangent. So sine would be my opposite over my hypotenuse. Cosine would be my adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent would be my opposite over my adjacent. Well, let's start checking these. This is going to be sine of angle R, which means I need to focus on angle R, and this one right here was R. So this is the angle I'm focusing on. Sine talks about opposite over hypotenuse. This is opposite of my angle. My hypotenuse is always the one that the right triangle is pointing at. So sine of angle R is 21 over 35. Does that tell me anything at all about this length? We're looking for this length here. It doesn't. It doesn't tell me anything about that length. And so I'm going to say that this is probably a no. The sine of angle R didn't tell me anything at all about that length. And so I'm going to click no there. Tangent. Tangent of T. Well, T is a different angle. T is this angle. And tangent, I'm going to go back to my SOHCAHTOA, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. So my opposite, my opposite's RS, side RS. So tangent of angle T is going to be the side RS over adjacent. Well, adjacent is 21 because it can't be my hypotenuse, which is 35. Which kind of leaves that's the only one. Well, I need to get RS by itself, so if I multiply both sides by 21, I have 21 times tangent of T equals RS. That's great. That's that option, so I'm going to hit yes. I'm going to hit yes, which means this one has to be no. How can this formula be the same as this one when they're different angles? My opposite and my adjacent switch when I switch angles. And so this one, logically, has to be a no. We could work it out. So we're going with this angle again. And so the tangent of angle R is going to equal 21 over RS. Well, I have to multiply both sides by RS. this doesn't say RS times tangent of R. So that one can't be true. So I have one more, cosine, and it's cosine of R. So cosine of R, I'm looking here again, and if I go back to my SOHCAHTOA, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Well, here's R. This is opposite, this is hypotenuse because the right angle always points to the hypotenuse, which means this has to be my adjacent. So cosine of R would be RS over my hypotenuse. To get RS by itself, multiply both sides by 35. And there we have it. RS equals 35 times cosine of R. So I can select that. So what I did here was I read the question. I had to recall things that I had learned before. And I used SOHCAHTOA. And then I just worked through the answer choices. Which ones made sense? Which ones didn't make sense? You will see that I did a lot of writing. I can't just look at this and know what the answer is. It is important to write down your thoughts, to jot things down.